tend the farms. Don't you dare. Keep away. Keep away. No. No. That's... You... Listen. You said you didn't want to eat poop. That will kill you. Alright? I want you... No. No. I have a gift to you. A big gift. And now, I want you to go to sleep. No, no, no! Good boy! No! You put that down! Stop! No! It's gonna kill you! It's gonna kill you! No! Damn it. Humans are really funny. We pack bond so quickly to such random things that it really doesn't take much. If people pack bond with Roombas by putting eyes on them, like, it doesn't take much to bond with an object or a thing that doesn't exist. It's really funny. So all it really takes is a story, a character development that made the person playing it fall in love with that character a little bit. Not really, but like going like, this guy rocks. The next time they play that game, they're gonna try to make sure they don't send that guy out for dangerous situations. They'll play around not getting that character killed 100%. And I think that itself is really interesting. In the deepest secret, cause you're knowing the unctures in such in medicines. Oh, gotcha. I hope you know I do not trade any more words than strictly needful when we make the trip in the damn world for gasoline and electricals and other such necessities that we can't make. I've got something friendly with the publican boy who sells the pills Papa needs, and when I mentioned them as study aids, the boy laughed and said a body didn't need penicillin for studying, unless a body was studying gash. Have you heard of such things? I do not want Papa to ask Papa for fear I do not know what, but I do not want to accidentally poison him either. Please come see me. John, you're a fucking dumbass. You're a dumb ass. The one that I made up? It's probably not gonna work. Oh! 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 It works! It works! Finally! We did it! It only took 2.5 hours. Actually, more than 2.5 hours. We've been trying to get this done for weeks. Damn! But we did it! Look, it clicks! Boop, boop, boop. When it's not on it, nothing happens. Oh, hold on. Nothing happens. And then we click it, it did it. And you know what the answer was? You know what the fucking answer was? It was because the main menu had a hidden little fuck thing on the mouse that made it so it stopped anything going through. Jesus, man. That's... Oh.
Oh no, Melon, I'm muted.
Discord, where are you?
Jesus Christ. sick.
Properties.
Oh, I've been muted this whole time.
You guys need to fucking.
To be
We
fair,
need to get it together.
You need to get
To
it
be fair-
fucking together, guys.
to be
Come
fair,
on.
I just transferred over. To be fair, it's like then because my other one doesn't have the Discord like sound input, so it would have been just me talking to y'all, but they only hear me. It would have been weird. Yes.
Interesting.
So yeah. Hi everybody.
how-
Hi.
Yeah, you guys
Hey,
need to
ready?
get it the fuck together. Me, also a streamer, not streaming right now.
All right. And now we need to get our broom handles out.
I
There
was
we go.
playing Digiman.
Okay, we're gonna.
Digimon.
Digimon.
Okay, working.
We're just
I'm
gonna-
to prison in a minute.
There we go.
Am I allowed
There's
to
our
crack
broom.
a cold one?
Absolutely.
I already did, so.
Listen, ask for forgiveness, not permission.
I already did.
All right. Okay.
Too
There we go.
late.
Too late, bozo.
Okay. Wailing chambers. We need to do
Okay.
fire only.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Let's get ourselves some fire.
What was the thing that you guys learned you could do? Like 8 missions in. What was it?
Kill somebody
Was it,
with
like,
the fire.
rotate stuff or something else? I remember you had.
Oh,
mentioned-
yeah, if you hold
Oh.
R while you're holding an item, you can rotate it.
Yeah, I just remember you guys being like, "Well, shit."
Yeah.
It is.
learned how to do
It is
this.
very helpful.
How does
Yeah, I got that.
me?
You just
I'm
hold
getting-
it over the... Oh, because this is big table.
not. That is a bench. That is not. Yes, I see. I'm remembering.
It's
by
all
remembering-
coming back to you.
I mean, not remembering,
Ah.
but it's fine.
Oh, it's all
Bones.
coming together. Okay, cell block. All right, let's get this. I'm gonna try to run directly to the wailing chambers so we can get that the little optional objective. I heard a cat.
Oh, Momo, I see you.
All right, I see wailing chambers. Perfect.
Where are you going, Momo?
Kicks you in the head.
No biggie.
Oh, this is a great game. I highly
Yeah.
recommend.
The hell is this?
Yeah, this game is so fun. I hope
What is this?
it's a 2.0 update.
Melon, what
out
is
by
this?
hopefully. Feed it to the mimic.
Oh,
Idealist is already dead.
I don't
Deathless
wanna
Run-
talk about it.
Deathless Run ruined.
I don't want to talk about it.
Reset.
I don't want to hear it.
Bad RNG or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
a
yeah,
yeah.
Where?
I hope so too, Eddie.
Where's the respawn point?
Oh, that's a good
I'm not
question.
setting the cat down. Ow! I just walked over an axe.
Owa. You
Owa.
didn't say
Owa.
Owa though. I just wanted to make fun of you anyway.
Yeah, it was a
Normally I
preemptive
do,
aloe.
but I was
Yeah.
so.
What do we do with the
hyper-speed.
slimes? Do we feed them to the murder box or whatever?
The slimes are your mops.
Yes, but we do
Melon,
feed them to the.
I'm not a
to-
novice. What happens?
I don't know.
What
it's
happens when the
been
slimes are dead and I kill them by covering them in
Yeah,
blood?
feed it to the mimic.
Oh God, gosh, no.
God.
But
Where
Looking for
is the
the
respawn
blood.
point?
Wait, hold on. There's a thing that we could do. What's the scan? Scan is Q. Scan blood.
Melon, the respawn point was in the room you were in.
Oh,
What?
It's right behind me. Turn to your right.
Oh my
Okay,
god!
we need that.
Oh my God.
God.
If I was smart, I would have set up a counter beforehand of how often you guys make fun of me.
I thought you were gonna say how often you died, but instead it became like
No,
No, how often you me.
it's gonna be a lot. It's
It
It's
is
gonna be
gonna-
too many.
It's gonna be a lot.
Oh, it's over there. Okay. Okay. Wailing
Uh.
chambers, as long as there's no more additional blood stains, we'll be able to complete it.
Yippee!
We need to dispose of the organic materials. Oh, where's is it Frank? What do we name the box?
I forget. And Sis isn't here.
The box back. God.
My go-to is always Frank or Jerry. I have named many things those two names.
Here, there's like
Frank
a billion.
sounds right.
There's another one.
I'm trying to remember where the original Frank and Jerry came from, and I honestly think
It was BioShock.
it was, yes.
Yeah,
but I mean
you
in
should
real
know your
life.
own. You should know your own gamer lore, Idealist.
Well, I meant like the original,
We'll
like
get his
why
ass.
that combo.
It was your BioShock playthrough, if you even remember.
If you even care.
If you even cared.
It's true. The gay robot lovers.
I didn't know about that part.
Yeah, it was. I had two sentries, that were like allies in the game, and half the time I would see them just run into each other and then into the wall.
Oh,
So I was like, "Stop making out and help me over here!" And then it was very funny. It became its own lore, and I put it part of a costume and everything. It
funny.
God.
was very good. It's listen,
Have
it's
you
kind
played?
of
Wait.
Have you played BioShock 2 yet?
yes. I haven't played Infinite
I
yet.
missed it. Infinite's fine.
I liked Infinite.
Infinite's fine. It has a really good DLC. That's the only thing I will say that like
Shit, did I
was
get the
super
DLC
good.
for it? You know what I do miss? I do miss the BioShock multiplayer. Like in BioShock 2.
Never touched it. Don't know what it is.
It was really good. It was similar to like the Dead Space 2 multiplayer, where it was like you don't think it's good. You don't
can
think it's
still
good.
play that.
Oh really? They didn't shut
you
down
have
the
to
servers?
set up a private. No, it's peer to peer. You can run a private mode.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wish they had
my
that for
brother
freaking Evolve.
was
Sorry.
working on that.
Hell yeah.
Setting that up. So maybe one day
I am totally down.
we need
for
we need like 8 freaks.
I am volunteering to be one of those freaks.
We know.
Okay.
We
Good.
planned,
I'm glad.
planned on it.
All right. Cool. You guys know me so well.
We're aware.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
Sorry, Mel. We're just like shooting the shit, random.
That's
Stuff.
fine. We're all just vibing here.
Listen, it is our actual job description to yap. I don't know what to tell you.
Maybe for
Professional
you.
yap. Yeah. Yeah. I took Jerry and or Frank. I don't remember which one.
I'm Frank sounds right. I
He's
think
just
Jerry
saying
was
shit.
something else. Eve, since you said this game looks fun, it's a like after adventurers go through the dungeons, it's like you clean up and reset all the traps and get everything back to normal for the next round of adventures to go through.
Oh, wrong one. There we go.
It's such a good concept.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's really good.
We played the demo. I think literally the day it came out.
Yeah.
For like
50 years ago.
yeah, for like 4 or 5 hours. It had a lot of content. It was super good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for a demo for that first run, it had a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 levels. It was very surprising.
I'm pretty sure I talked about how well it was put together. I was like, this is how demos should feel. It's like,
Yeah.
I know.
Like,
I'm excited for the
It gives you
game.
a solid feel of what the game is going to be, and it leaves you wanting more.
Yep.
Idealist, where's the mimic? I can hear
my
it.
hands.
I can hear you now. Idealist, I know that. That's why I asked you where it was.
It's where I am.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna shoot my.
I'm in the basement.
I'm just gonna make a mess. I'm gonna be a villain.
No!
I'm on my way.
I'm gonna
on my
farm
way.
bloodstain cleans by throwing meat at the
No!
bloodstain.
No!
Infinite experience.
I said that we needed as long as no more blood stains. We failed it.
Oh. I don't know where the
No!
whaling chamber is, dude.
Look
Grow
at
up.
the left corner.
Grow up.
I worked so hard.
Grow up.
No.
It's his first day.
Grow up. It's my I'm new here. Figure grow up.
Oh no! I see all the blood too.
Well, you shouldn't have moved the box.
I was just trying to
This
clean up
is
this area.
directly your
man.
fault.
Yeah, I'm gonna blame Idealist. Or find a way to at least.
All right, here you go. Here's.
Alright.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back to not.
I didn't know, dude.
It's fine.
I was unaware of where the whaling chamber was.
I remember when I forget what other thing we failed, but it was similar to, I think it was Deck, where they asked us like 4 separate times, like, what does this mean? And none of us answered, and then we failed.
Oh my god.
Then we were like, why did you fail it? And they're like, I asked you what it meant like 3 times.
Jesus.
We're like, oh, sorry, we're stupid.
Yeah, sorry, I was zoned in. It was not
That's
not
funny.
focusing on what you're saying whatsoever. Oh, but ain't that the story? Always is. Well, no, I don't care anymore.
This really is a good, like, shoot the shit. Just talk
Yeah.
game, 'cause
Yeah.
You're just kind of doing stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like you would die from
Yeah, and it's
doing
not like there's
something.
any
Consequences.
consequences for not doing exactly what the missions are. And your friend Idealist was working on,
Yeah.
and was literally the first thing he did. Not at all.
Nope.
That would never happen.
Never.
Haha.
All right, let's see here.
Where do you-
But I do recommend lighting the slimes on fire. It makes cleaning a lot easier.
I don't know where to do that. Just any fire source?
Anything that looks like an open flame. So anything that's like not a torch, but like if there's like a
Okay,
fire
so
pit in the
not
middle of the
a
room.
torch.
Yeah.
Got it, I see. Oh, yes, like the one in the whaling chambers?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it?
That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there it is. Oh.
It's really interesting.
Let's pick you up. I pick you up.
A skeleton. A cadaver.
I recommend not
cadaver. Mm.
not fully completing the skeleton because they get handsy.
Oh.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
perverts.
Okay.
Yeah,
Unless
they
you're
don't-
into that, but you might
Okay.
die because
I did fully complete
They
the
do
skeleton,
not-
and then it said, kill the skeleton in the sewers with fire, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Someone did put the skull next to the completed skeleton, maybe on purpose. Interesting.
Are you just
Interesting.
going behind me? I literally set that there like 2 minutes
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm new here.
You
I'm just a
are
guy.
what? This I'm like back at work training out someone again. It's like, oh
Holy
god,
shit.
oh god, no, please. I'm kidding. I actually liked training.
I'm gonna kill him.
Nerd.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
What about it? Ooh, I forgot this was trapped.
Where's Big Table? We need
Big table. No idea.
Is this Big Table? No, that's the thing that stretches you.
Big table, where are
Big.
you?
Psst, 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 psst. Big table.
I want to go on one of the stretchy things and just have it like stretch
Like
me,
enough
you
to
Just
know?
a little bit.
Die?
Yeah, just enough.
But-
Enough so it like is like cool or whatever, and not so that it like pulls my arms out and then I die. That's not really what I want. That's not what I'm looking
No.
for.
Mm-hmm. Has this been pulled? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I went up the wrong way. Going down the right way. Which I believe is this way?
I'm just going away.
Hmm,
Ah!
interesting.
Someone completed a skeleton and it killed me.
There
Oh,
is
sorry about that.
one in the first area that
Oh, I know.
should be already completed.
I know. I just figured that out.
One
I
that
know.
like when the level starts, it's already completed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In fact, there's a couple.
I'll let it slide then.
This time.
Yep. Did someone order a torture chair?
Maybe.
What's it to ya?
I didn't enable the revive, so I revived all the way back at the start.
Yeah.
Wasn't that far. Okay, so this place needs...
I think I do need to take
a long
Frank
boy.
downstairs, so I'm gonna go down there. Frank.
Oh, Frank.
Yoink. Frank! Because I did see a handful. There's one. Well, there's actually quite a few. Alright, where are you? Get over here. Get over here.
Where are you?
I'm so sorry.
Damn, that was kind of... I don't think it sounds like that at all, Idealist.
Are you
Kinda
sure?
messed up.
I think I'm pretty,
Yeah.
I mean, it was my best. It was my best attempt, surely.
Hmm.
Ooh, I can't wait to see your idea.
Get costumed. Ah!
Yeah, I was gonna try and just block you. Body
I
block
know, you did that on purpose.
Yeah, I'm a villain.
All right, I'm gonna.
I was just gonna tweet like I'm evil now at like 4 a.m. last night when I was awake and I didn't, but I should have.
You should have.
Just with no context, not
Yeah.
being active at all on
No.
any of my
Yeah,
socials.
I'm
just
evil
being like,
now.
I'm evil now. Yeah, fully ghosting all of my like social stuff for a while because life is hard. But like now I'm just evil.
Real.
Where does this
Locked
bench
room has been
go?
opened, by the way.
It probably goes up there then. In there.
Big slime.
Big slime.
Oh, that's right. You can like make a big slime and then carry them, I think, around, right? Yeah, and then do a combo thingy.
Okay, let's see here.
Kill the skeleton in the iron sewers with a fire slime. Idealist is not working.
You have to hold it. You have to hold right click,
Oh,
and
it
then
took
it will like
long.
it will like tss, and
It
then
took forever.
and there we go. Hey, no.
Is this the skeleton in the am I in the iron?
I'm
in the
sorry.
cell block.
I didn't think that would happen.
Huh? Was that? Huh?
Oh.
Did y'all fail that?
I already
failed.
had it from another point, but
I failed the skeleton in the fire slime. I hit the lever and it blew him up. Unless that was you guys.
I think
case...
no, that was a bench hit the trap and the trap killed the skeleton.
Yeah. It was a cacophony of errors.
It's fine.
We'll just have to do it again.
And again, and again, and again.
And again, and again, and again, and again.
Where does all the treasure go?
There is a shining treasure chest behind. Do you remember seeing like a giant door that needed a key?
Big table.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big table. I'll get it. Oh.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I shoved Idealist out of the way with big table.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna get out of the way, but I was already into the wall by the time that sentence came out.
I have more important things to do. Big table is 50,000 miles away.
That's a lot of miles.
A skeleton leg.
Yes.
There
Skeleton.
happens to be many of those.
Me when I finish my chicken.
A skeleton leg.
I guess.
Skeleton leg. Listen, it's not the best joke, but listen, I never said it was
You don't have
funny.
to get it every time.
Not every shot has to be a hit.
Maybe if you're bad.
Well, I am. So what of it?
Oh, okay, then it's fine.
Ow!
Wow. You just tried to kill me with a big axe.
First of
Y'all saw
all,
that.
I tried to kill
by
you.
y'all, I
with
mean-
the axe. Oh, y'all.
Ideal-
Idealist
stream.
Cat probably saw.
Oh, thank God someone saw. It was just vile act of violence. Horrible act of violence. Okay, there's a
Cancel
whole
vi-
nother like section of this dungeon that I just missed.
Is it because it was locked?
I don't know.
It's his first day.
It's my first day.
This is slowly becoming It's a Fantasy World
You know
bit.
it's no, but we can start that one if you want.
I'm getting the same vibes.
The fantasy setting. No, that's just a repetitive bit, which It's a Fantasy setting is.
Yeah. It's still funny. I'm
How's
gonna
that?
steal
I'm
some
putting
skeleton
Skeleton
ribs.
back together.
Skeleton.
This bitch goes.
So
Where
no head.
does this go?
Picks up skeleton head. What do you have? Oh,
Like,
pew bench thing.
yeah, I don't know where it's supposed to go.
Does it go
I
at the
have been walking
beginning?
all-
Go to the beginning where we started.
Oh, you're right. It might be like in the cells there.
I got 30 experience for picking up a note on the wall.
Hell yeah.
Imagine not picking that up.
Imagine not reading.
Pretty cringe.
Oh, that
Imagine
smells
not
so
being
good.
able
I'm
to
so
read.
hungry. Enjoy.
Could be me. Ha 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 ha. The
Yeah?
clearing of the throat was unrelated. Okay, no. Where does this leg go?
Egg leg?
Egg leg.
There's more to... Yes. Yeah, the egg leg. Alright. We will find your body, one way or another.
Dude,
you wish I
Wingstop
had-
fries are goated.
Some sort of mini map.
Ooh, perfect.
Is there a map button somewhere?
I don't believe so.
Oh, that's fine.
I do also get so
Um,
very lost sometimes.
I think that's part of it.
Oh, there's where the key goes.
I got 2.
Where does this pew go?
Found the leg!
I looked.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh, Melon, last time I had Wingstop, it made
Hi.
me, like, ill.
No!
Unfortunate.
I just think my Wingstop by me sucks. Which is
I'm
fine.
so
I've got other
Mhm.
places to get food from that are, like, fine.
Yeah.
But it's like, damn. Because a lot of the time, I don't get, like, bad food when I order stuff. But that one was...
Mm-hmm.
Like, it tasted fine, but I did not feel good after.
Yeah. That's always the fun one where you're just like, oh, that was not good food.
I'm poisoned,
Like,
yeah.
it went down with no problem, but oh, I am paying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are slowly building a skeleton like we would a Lego. Bionicle. Bionicle's better.
I think that's pretty subjective.
Yes. And it is my subjective
I
opinion.
love the sharp intake of breath and the very long pause.
Do I have to click to make this eat things?
Yeah.
Yeah. Careful, you
Did
might eat people.
No! No!
I think you found that out
Ominous.
already.
I got so scared.
Oh, there's a battle axe down here. Melon, come here.
Eats the battle
Oh,
axe.
nice. You go ahead, walk away so I don't accidentally hit you.
Gonna make a skeleton.
Can I cheat? No.
I think there
What's
was
his
one
name?
more piece of meat, like, near where the battle axe was.
Hmm. In here?
Yeah. No!
Oh. Well, there's more meat than where you were at now.
Oh, it killed the mimic too, and the mimic's back in the first room. That's
Whoa.
funny. Speedrun strat.
Yeah, I didn't know
Speedrun.
the mimic, could die.
It more or less just teleports.
Yeah, smile.
Slowly, but surely, making this. Ow!
Oh!
Skeleton!
God!
Careful where you're throwing that battle axe around.
You need to keep.
I was walking around a corner. You were launching
You already
yourself
hit
at
me
top
with the
speed.
battle axe, Idealist. You don't get to talk.
I also hit myself with that same battle axe.
Well, good. You don't get to talk then. Ever.
Oh.
Ever?
Oh. Oh, okay.
Silent streamer.
I just fade into the ethereal. No!
Stored objects. What else needs to... Oh,
Two
I
more
think
blood
it's this
stains.
there's a torso, ribcage. Oh, there's a skeleton right here.
Oh no.
Oh,
I
good.
guess I'll just come
Good
back and
catch,
deal with
because
that.
I was looking for a ribcage for that. I'm gonna grab the key and put that up. Grabbing the key.
Dealt with the meat.
Good
meat
job.
Dealt with. That sounded patronizing.
You did it. I'm proud
gonna-
of you.
I'm gonna end his life.
You can try. Okay, seriously though, where do I go?
Q
This way.
to scan.
Okay, we
There
go
you
this way.
are.
Hi.
I was talking to the bloodstain, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Me too.
Me too is crazy.
All right. Cell block is done.
Oh,
I think it's just the kit bits in the water.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Me when I sell
I think that's just kibble.
steak nuggets
Oh my god.
from Arby's. I almost got those today. I considered it.
The
I was
steak
gonna
nuggets.
say, you're gonna summon notice with that.
Hmm. I considered it. I got Shake Shack instead because I'm like, I'm gonna treat myself
Mm-hmm.
to a little something because I got groceries. I did like a chore today or whatever.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh yeah!
Just something I don't do. I don't.
Celebrate every little thing.
Yeah.
Mhm. The little
I
victories.
was like,
Piranha
oh, there's
plants. Hello,
actually
welcome.
food in my apartment for the first time in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
it's
fi-
tough out here. The world is just falling apart, and it's really hard to stay motivated. So you gotta
Yeah.
hype up every little thing.
And the
you
dumb thing is,
accomplish.
I've just been ordering food out, which is like significantly more expensive. So I haven't even been
Mhm.
saving money. I've just been being an idiot. Like it's like, fuck, dude. It's just
No,
one
I-
of those
I-
things.
Yeah. It's a bit of a
I
cycle.
heard steak nuggets, high nuggets.
Whoa, let's go.
So
Yeah. Arby's steak nuggets. Apparently they're good. Which is very funny because you wouldn't think that. Are we done? Did we beat the dungeon?
no, we have one more. I have one more
organic remain in the
organic
sewers.
that I need to find.
Okay. I'm gonna go home because I'm just gonna get blown up if I like walk forward.
Good. Bad news though. I can't seem to find it.
Are you using the scanner?
Yeah.
We have a scanner?
If
Q.
you hold down Q, you can scan for different items.
What the fuck? I mean, freak. I mean,
It's
Fuck.
fuck. Idealist, you're family friendly. You can't say that.
I'm allowed at one curse word.
There you go. You used it.
I have an idea.
Curse word used. 1 of 1.
You open up the Mimic and I see your fucking Doug Dimmadome hat coming through it.
Okay. Yeah, this might be another glitch situation.
I will double check. I will look around.
I'm not seeing nothing. And everyone knows I don't miss anything.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Huh? Where would it be? Is it like
that would've hurt.
above? Oh, was it up here?
Above? Oh, I see what you mean by above.
Yeah, hold on. It might be up here. Yeah, it was up here.
Oh.
Because this is still considered whaling chambers. I remember running into this issue before where I was like, there's nothing down here, and then I scanned and then looked up and it was in the ceiling. I was like, what the?
Cool.
What is this?
Kit, were you watching when we streamed one time and we could not for the life of us find last piece of meat and it was glitched falling through the wall?
Oh my god. I think I remember you guys complaining about like being stuck and I didn't have context though.
Yeah, we had to like time grabbing it.
Jesus. You can't leave with something. Okay. How do I?
Like
You
this.
press X to shake it off.
See? And then you do
Okay,
this.
well. Hey, idealist.
Hey.
Grow up.
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ.
I think the game thought you said blow up. Because I picked up your slime and it exploded and killed me.
Good.
There was an
I thought you did a really well-timed bit, but
No,
completely
it was
on accident.
100%. I
Oh my
picked up your
God.
slime,
That's
and
crazy.
you said, "Idealist, grow up," and I exploded from me picking up. Hi,
Oh, that's so funny.
let's go.
After you see, you can go to player resume. Sure, I'll take it. I was the laziest.
Classic Melon, so lazy.
So lazy.
I'm tempted to not do anything and see if it even gives me the laziest at this point.
No, because if you do nothing, we don't win the game. So,
you could. It's just
it takes so long. I did get a lot of stuff though.
Hell yeah!
I got like 100. I got like 200 tickets.
Yeah.
Wait,
Level
did
alone.
Oh, I just have a lot. Okay. Okay.
They don't have fishnets in this game. What's the fucking point?
They have
Honestly,
lace.
they do have. Whatever the maid one is.
It's fine. But it's not what I
Human-made
want.
female legs.
Human female legs. That tooth witch hat does go hard. But I'm saving up for the dragon tail. Dragon tail, dragon tail.
Dragon tail.
And then slow mop.
I am surprised they did not release this game with the male goblins. Because that is something they teased in like the early access. Well, this game's still in early access, but
They're still working on it. I think
the,
it's
like,
going to be next update.
2.0. Yeah.
We'll see what for this one.
I am glad that they didn't like push themselves to release something that wasn't finished though.
Yeah.
Because that's no fun.
Y'all.
Oops.
Okay, we're gonna leave character customization for now. I think the next one I might have enough.
I think
For the tail.
I'm just gonna
Alright.
be normal for a bit.
You're extraordinary to me, kid.
What the fuck? Who is this guy?
I really like the dynamic of super positive, like, protagonist energy and just, like, some guy who just doesn't stand for it.
Just like, what the fuck is this guy?
I want to kill this man. What is this? Don't worry,
Have you
with
guys
the
played
power
all
of
the levels
friendship.
that are available right now?
I think so.
That's crazy. You guys are sick.
A little. We streamed this like 5 times.
That's true.
We did this for
I like
getting
not
Kai to
been-
affiliate, and we just went again and again and again.
It is
Yup.
really good.
Yup.
It is really good. I have just not been streaming or doing anything stream related in a while.
Well, I mean, you've been dealing with your own stuff.
I've been existing.
Yeah, exactly. There's no pressure whatsoever. You stream when you're
I know.
when you're able.
That's what I've been saying. I'm like, I don't want to be like pressured to stream and then have a bad time and then be like, well, now I don't like streaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'd much rather do it when I'm feeling it.
I completely agree.
You better.
Really feeling it.
I disagree.
Okay, well, dang. What the heck?
Now you're just being combative.
Yeah, now you're just being evil. I'm evil now.
I'm evil now.
Hashtag I'm evil now. It's so dark. What is it supposed to be dark in here?
Yes.
okay,
Okay,
I'm like-
I was also looking for this, like...
It feels like the
There's
light
an
that-
achievement to clean the spiral watchtower with the lights off.
this isn't the Spiral
I was like-
Watchtower, though.
Everyone
So
stops
anyway-
talking.
My mouth is full of chicken.
Oh, yeah, me too.
When you turn the lights on, it turns the lights on for the whole house.
Oh, so Spiral Watchtower needs to go first.
Yeah, I thought my brightness settings were like messed up. I'm like, this place looks crazy. I'm just gonna set the table.
You didn't see nothing. Cat. Cat. I could tell because my allergies are acting up.
Phantom Sense.
Yeah,
Phantom Sense Idealist.
that truly is evil idealist. Surely me hitting any of these traps won't cause any issues. Oh,
Yeah, why would
crap.
it, man?
Oh, well, I already failed one thing for us.
Oh, I didn't even bother looking at the things. Idealist! Those quests are super important, Idealist. How could you do this? Ugh.
Question about the watchtower.
Yes, bombs come down.
Well, not that, but also thank you for letting me know. Not that I would need to know. Does the torches count as lights?
No.
Okay. Because I was starting to turn them on, and I was like, well, I immediately broke...
Wait a minute.
So the Noble's Banquet, I literally went to walk into the banquet with a giant vase. It shattered on the door frame, and we lost it immediately. So I did a single thing, and it
funny.
made us lose. Dang it! No, bomb! Get away from me!
You guys think Idealist was okay?
Ah, fine.
Debatable. We'll never
Okay.
really know.
That's what I thought too.
Okay. Now, if I could find where the darn trap is, I too cannot
too.
kill. Okay, we're good. Okay. Alright, this goes up here. This guy likes listening to records. What a nerd! 40k figurines. That's normal.
What are you talking about?
Figurines, there's like a whole universe, fantasy, sci-fi.
No, not that
Oh
part.
my god.
You know what I mean. Freak.
This guy, am I right?
This guy.
Okay. Where is slime? I refuse to use the name that y'all gave it.
What's
If
up,
you
my
go
slime?
past the banquet and
Uh-huh.
to the right,
Mhm.
up the stairs,
Okay.
past the respawn,
Okay.
then there's the slime. It is unreasonably far.
I was gonna say that sounds unreasonable to me.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get one slime and I'll carry a big slime down the stairs so we have extra.
Hell yeah. What did y'all call it again? Was it birthing machine or something?
The baby machine! Not birthing! God, you're such a perv!
Idealist, yours does suck significantly worse. So I understand why you wouldn't want to use what you thought that they said.
I hate my brain. Someone
Because
take
that does suck.
someone take the glossary out of my brain, pretty please. I'd rather just not know the word. Let's
Smack
put.
you on the head a few times.
Honestly, could probably fix it.
It's a little
I don't-
treat.
I don't know what hit in the head happened when I was young enough to do it, but it could have also been that sandbox
You ate a
mushroom.
dictionary, right?
I feel like I would be good with words if I ate a dictionary.
No, too many words.
Oh, so you're kind of going the other direction, where it's
Like
like,
your brain is overwhelmed.
You know too much.
yeah, that's totally it.
Mm-hmm.
A
Okay.
thesaurus.
Thesaurus.
I do like dinosaurs.
Okay, well
Exactly.
maybe he's not okay. Maybe he's lost it a little bit.
A wee bit.
The way I like to describe it is a lot of times my thoughts are just fill in the blank games, where it's just like the blank goes blank, and it's just like, we'll just kind of make our way through it.
Oh!
I backed into the mimic.
Oh, happens all the time.
Your butt just looked juicy.
Whoa!
I wish my VTuber model was on because I gave you the wildest look right there.
So you know how we as a team failed the Nobles Banquet challenge?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, us as a team.
Uh,
Absolutely.
the vase didn't even need to go in this room, so it broke for no reason.
Mm.
I thought y'all
Well,
should
okay.
it would
Have an extra chair here.
it would feel good to know that, you know.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know where that goes, so I'm just gonna leave that there. Y'all are still doing organic stuff in here, so I won't swipe that yet. Any other goblets? Goblet. And you said you gave me a long list of where the thing is, so I'm just gonna keep on walking forward until I find it.
Yeah.
Let's do here.
I lived.
I'm so proud of you.
I lived.
Oh yeah, this is the room that was like weird.
There's still these and no way to trigger a trap.
Guys, there's a
Interesting.
ball, and it has
Uh-huh.
a fuse. The fuse isn't getting any... Never mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
40 minutes to go off. It scared the shit out of me. I think I bounced it off of the mimic, and it didn't kill me. It's pretty
Cool. It's pretty neat.
Cool.
That's some
Pretty cool. He
gaming right
they
there.
do have 40k miniatures here. That's pretty well.
Yeah, I wasn't lying. It does sound like something I would bullshit, but
Oh yeah, absolutely.
in this case, it was not.
I'm sorry, Ratty. What was the come again in reference
Oh, it was
to?
about-
We've said a lot of
Could have been
things.
anything we said.
No, it was about the butt comment that I made over at
Oh.
Kit.
That's not even that wild.
Oh, actually, you know what? Let's just do it in here first.
Oh, thank you for the stretch redeem.
Yeah, check your posture. Make sure you're not shrimping.
Oh.
Oh, I
Interesting.
heard a crack. That was good.
Okay, this guy is
I think
Dunzo.
this chair goes all the way upstairs.
Let's just do it here. Oh, so I went completely in the wrong direction. Lovely. Okay. So that's not nearly as far as I thought it was going to be. Yoink. Shrimp. Shrimp. Do we have flames?
I don't remember.
Do we have any flames?
No.
Turns
That's
out the
my
chair.
fault?
Uh-huh.
Turns out chair does not block the
what?
bomb. The mimic.
I tried to do the exact same thing.
The
Why do I
mimic
hear
blocked
bombs?
It, though. I think.
Oh, there's bombs!
What?
Ah!
Because there's bombs, Idealist. There's a bomb right there. What do you mean?
Because this
why
is a
do you hear
bomb
bombs?
factory where they
bomb
make bombs.
Now, what triggers that? Is there like a tripwire?
Yeah, there is a tripwire on the stairs. You'll just...
Where is it?
Anyways.
Oh, there it is. It just happens to reset every time.
Where is this cat?
Oh,
Where are you?
please be the right chair, please. Yes.
Up we go. Surely I won't accidentally hit the tripwire. Oh, there's meat on the stairs. I wonder how that happened.
Yeah. Smile.
Impossible to know.
Mm-hmm. Who could have saw this coming?
Certainly not me. Okay, well, that didn't last long. I miss my fire slime. They made cleaning
Who
so
needs a
much
bat?
easier.
Who needs a battle axe?
I mean, I don't need one, but like it'd be pretty
Okay,
cool.
well, to like have one.
Yeah. Oh, I found him. I found the cat. I found out why I couldn't find the cat before too. It's a shadow.
Blind.
Oh,
No.
yeah, it like walks between areas as a shadow.
It goes to the second dimension.
Melon, need a battle axe?
I don't think so. Check
I'm
around
just
the
carrying
corner.
it around at this point.
No!
That was absolutely fucked up, by the way. Check around the corner. Smush.
Sorry.
Didn't even give
Spoon.
me a hint of a warning.
No,
Although I guess the 46 pieces of meat was a warning. But I don't.
If anything, it
think
was just
so. I don't-
environmental storytelling.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, get out of this shadow. Are you just glitched in this wall?
I found where the battle axe is supposed to go. You were heading in the right direction.
That's good, at least.
Is the watchtower cleaned?
No. There's still a lot of bloodstains.
Okay.
But because it takes 57 minutes for me to go
Helped.
get another slime and then back and forth again. Dang it! You're not going to hit me.
Okay. There
I
is
was correct.
a light switch left of the banquet in
Okay.
a dark hallway. Don't interact with the switch until any switch you see until we are
Okay, 4 more to go.
done.
Alright, sounds good. I don't care if I trigger this device. I'm just built different. And not like better, just like
Just different.
It's different.
you know where in a factory where they make a bunch of stuff and then it's just like this isn't built appropriately and then they just throw them into like a bin. It's like that.
Is your wife
rejects?
laughing?
How dare?
What the heck?
Love, Kid
Hi.
says stop having fun.
That's not what I said.
I mean, you might as well have said it.
All I said was, "Is your wife laughing?"
It sounded
Accusatory.
pretty accusatory.
Yeah,
it was.
accusatory, derogatory. And you.
Is your wife laughing?
Wife laughing?
Okay, where is...
I was laughing. What about it?
Hear you. Gosh.
Bloodstain, go! Nope, nothing.
Like, we get it. You're having fun with our friends.
Gosh, we get it. You're in the other chat in the Discord. Grow up.
Grow up.
Grow up. Is it just, like, here? Oh, this counts. Oh. That's what it was.
You were here like 30 minutes ago, kid.
And yet there wasn't any
I
laughter.
know! There was no laughter. It was just me talking about Digimon for 2.5 hours straight.
And who wouldn't laugh at that?
Well, it wasn't really funny,
Yeah,
Idealist.
yeah, it's a very serious topic.
It was super
Idealist.
serious.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Yeah, I wasn't being like funny.
I'm looking for Toothy Chest, Frank, and or Jay.
I have it.
It's just mad he's not playing Digimon right now.
No, I'm having fun with my friends. Grow up.
Grow up is still so
Saying
funny.
grow up never is not funny.
Oh, perfect.
Idealist, are you still cleaning the watchtower with slimes?
Yes, I think
There-
that putting this
right
up
here.
might be...
Okay, there's 2 slimes right here at the end of the banquet table.
Okay, thank you. I'm looking for a place to dispose of mine as of right now, but I'll wait for Kit to be done.
Box is done.
There's a lot of meat.
I cleaned up a lot of meat already, but there's more that way that I wasn't able to get.
Oh, there's also a lot of meat over
Because
here.
Idealist needs the box.
I do need the box.
Or whatever.
This is
Me
true.
being combative all stream. Being evil.
Everyone plays their
I
role.
I said I was evil today.
It's true. Alright, now why is there a revive monsters in here?
What?
I don't... In the Spiral Watchtower. It's revive monster.
What are you talking about?
I
Yeah, Idealist.
don't know how to explain it any further.
Like, is it a command to revive monsters?
No, it's a Spiral Watchtower. We have organic meat and revive monsters.
Okay, we'll do it.
0 out of 1.
Okay.
The revive monsters might be the flower pots that you have to use your little dragon guy on.
Maybe.
I don't see the problem, Idealist. Just revive the monster.
Yeah, just revive the monster.
Yeah.
Like, I don't... Like, what's the problem
Get it
here?
together.
Like, it seems really simple.
Where's the chest? There you are. I think I see where the thing is as well. Oh no,
The
that's a piece of meat.
Who up reviving a monster?
Well,
Hey, yo!
all right, come here, big guy. I only need 3, but that's sentences.
Yeah? Yeah?
Mhm.
Whoa.
What?
Listen.
Listen.
Okay.
Listen.
I'm glad we're
Was
all
that
on
the
the
whole
same page now.
conversation?
Yeah. That was 100%.
Listen.
Listen.
Listen, Linda.
Listen.
Okay. But where is the revive monsters? I'm not seeing any. That's good. Am I going to unleash the 40k universe here? Like, what's the dealio? Mama Dodo telling me what to do. All right. All right, let's go ahead and just yoink that. Go ahead and unleash the trap because I feel like it.
It's for shits and giggles.
Mm-hmm. Nothing like a shiggle trap. Am I right?
Oh. Idealist, I'm gonna say something crazy.
Yeah.
You give off wild white guy energy.
Thank you.
Did
I
I
broke something.
mine like streamer bot something?
StreamerBot isn't doing the follow age thing. I don't know. I think it's the yikes, and what you just said really triggered that for me.
Oh.
Oh, because you said it in Idealist chat, and I don't have it set up.
Oh,
Oh.
Because we have shared chats, our streamer bots
yeah.
were like,
The bots
both
don't
of us?
like to play
Oh.
together.
Interesting, because I custom made the follow age thing. Like I put the whole thing together. You have an automatic follow age.
There is one of the streamer bots actually does that. Innately.
That means you just have to follow Melon, Ratty, and then you can also double dip that. The same.
None of us know what my streamer bot will say because this is a surprise to us all.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. I don't really know what it's looking
Thanks for the follow.
Whoa. Idealist, can you say jinkies for me?
Less than 1 day is crazy.
That's crazy. That's very funny.
Jinkies.
You're like, there we go.
Zoink Scoob.
Zoinks.
No.
Plays the Discord soundbite that would probably go through the audio somehow.
It's so loud and scary and just like in.
You can adjust the volume of the whole soundboard.
I have. It's just so jarring, and it's like has an echo to it, and I don't want to confront
that
Scooby in a spooky corridor.
That specific soundbite is one of the worst ones. I don't like it, but I've been.
I love it so much.
Held at some sort of weapon point to not remove it.
At least 2 different friends have said they will leave the Discord if you take that sound.
I know, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh. It's so divisive.
It's
so funny.
Thing. I don't like it. Are there 2 boxes? Why do I hear something like chewing on something?
Because I have a box over here.
Oh.
So if you
think
also
for
have a
some
box,
reason the mimic you can hear like really far
Oh,
away.
is that
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just heard it like
Just
in my
shield and
ear.
a battle axe.
okay.
Yeah, there
They're
were
by the
points
crushing-
last map where I'm like, I'm nowhere
They're
near
by
you
the
guys.
crushing trap by the shield
Oh.
of the battle axe.
Okay.
Okay.
The monster was the cat.
Oh.
Interesting.
All right. So, watchtower's done in gold, so now we can turn on the lights.
Ow!
Nice.
I'll turn on the lights.
Do it.
Those sparks are probably fine. I thought I
wow.
saw a place for book. I think it was probably over here on the right.
Book.
Through the
Book.
shield.
Oh. Oh, right, I died, so I don't have a
A mop.
slime.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see if we can find a place for music.
In the treasure room.
I haven't found the treasure room yet.
Treasure room.
It's right by where the switch was.
Oh. Interesting.
Wrong.
What?
What? What
Why are
did
you
I
saying
do?
wrong?
He was in the. He walked into my room.
Oh, I thought you were saying that to me, and I was like, why are you being so combative?
No, God.
What am I, Kit?
God,
Are these chairs floating for anyone else?
No.
No.
Streamer
psychosis.
Interesting.
Do
I
you
think
need
it's
to,
just
like,
normal
pick them up and
psychosis.
replace them?
I'm gonna let things just kind of go, but then if I have issues completing, then
Cross that bridge when we get to it.
yeah. All right. With this fork, I command you. All right. Dispose of organics. That's what I know. Refill golden chest. Wait, wasn't there a thing? Good job, Idealist. Good description. Oh, you got it. Perfect.
Did we clear all the meat out of the tower area?
Yes. Tower is done.
Okay. Good.
Woo! Okay, we have one more piece of treasure.
I got a snack for you. Thank you.
Eats Idealist.
I thought there was a non-zero chance that was gonna happen.
I thought about it.
I know you did.
I considered it for a moment.
My sixth sense was tingling. It's just like he's thinking about it.
I can kill him. I can break this.
I could break this.
So funny.
Alright, I'm just gonna follow the chomp and I will find you. There you are.
What's up?
Hey. There you go.
Eats Idealist.
It's gonna happen one of these days.
Be
And by one of
careful
these
the
days.
traps.
You
less
wish.
than 1 day. Like Reddy's following.
Less than 1 day. That's so funny that it says that.
Yo.
Wait, there's one more in this room.
Hi.
Oh,
That's not the one, but that was another one.
it was the one.
Oh! It was counting the one in my hand. That's really funny. And here's another one.
And here's another one.
Another one.
Another one. There's one more piece of meat in the treasure room.
Oh, there is... Wasn't there a thing...
Where's the treasure room again? I don't remember.
Come back. Yeah.
That we ended up learning. It was just like... Oh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes, what?
Come here, over
Secret
here.
room.
Idealist over here doesn't help anyone.
I'm literally looking at you.
Oh, hey, what's up?
This right here is a switch on the wall. We spent, like, no joke, like 30-40 minutes trying to, like, find the last thing.
Oh. Oh. That's
There
funny.
were complaints that it was not intuitive.
Yeah, having a hidden zone that needs to be completed for the 100% is kind of bad.
You could be a peeping Tom through that one picture.
Ooh.
Thank God.
Oh, this is the traps! This is where you can set up the traps! Oh!
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
You broke the room.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Restorable objects in the rainy corridor.
No, don't see. No, you don't see that. Shush.
How could that happen?
Next time we get someone through there, I want someone else to be on the other side of that wall triggering traps randomly.
Blow shit up.
That's really good. As soon as they're gone, they're just like, hey, can someone clean this room?
Wait, can we b-hop in this game? I don't think so. Oh, that really did mess this room up, huh? Idealist?
Huh? I'm totally in a different room.
He's
I'm totally in another room. I don't know what you're talking.
Ugh!
Oh wait, is shit still going on? The hell?
Yes!
Oh what? I'm not. I swear I'm nowhere near that now. I mean, ever.
Burned both of us to a crisp, you freak.
I'm sorry.
I'll get Frank.
Oh, you're right here. Okay. I literally hit the buttons, and I was like,
is griefing us.
and then nothing happened, and I was like, oh, okay. Do all of them not work? And then I hit all of them, nothing happened. I was like, well, okay. And then
set all of them up.
Oh.
So we all,
It didn't even leave any
yeah,
meat
the
behind.
Big,
We were so
the big statues of dragons up there, Idealist, just burned us to a crisp.
that's so funny. I mean, it's awful.
That's
horrible.
Awful. Oh
All right.
no.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm so upset. You can tell how upset I am.
A
Ugh.
mana.
a mana.
I'm just glad we were
That
able to
meme,
eventually find that.
that TikTok's in my head like
A cemetery.
4 days a week.
A graveyard.
Minimum.
Part time.
An arachnid, a spider.
I constantly think of
Oh.
I think that came out like a year ago, year and a half ago.
It's not new.
I have no
It's
idea what
not
y'all
new,
are talking
but
about. So
it
I
is
think
just-
I brought it up in the Discord before.
doesn't mean anything.
Scott, I beat Idealist, by the way.
Hey, laziest, let's go.
Yeah, I got Grim Reaper Lover and you died 4 times.
I don't think
Yeah,
it
and
was.
I did all the work and got the laziest. That sucks so much.
Looks at restorable objects. 62.
Yeah, you did kind of
And
go
organic
crazy.
remains with kit. 65.
I did run around the whole level with the mimic and just ate all the meat. On the
Honestly, that's the first thing that I do when we play this game. Is I grab Frank and then I just
and you eat the meat.
go
Mm.
all the meat everywhere. If there's a meat to be eaten, I'm your man.
On your good.
Looks at the camera, says nothing else. What level 3? Level 3.
Let's go. Yes.
I don't really want anything yet.
Yeah.
There goes your wife laughing again.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
It's so toxic.
Kit hates seeing people happy.
Meninist moment.
No, come say
Am I
that
hearing
to
your
my
wife
face.
laughing? Oh fuck.
I like it's
Ugh,
going towards misogyny, but it's not
that's
quite
so
there.
funny.
Not quite there.
It's
That's-
almost there.
I'm skirting it just a little bit. It's a treat.
It's
Oh,
a
that's
treat.
so funny.
It's a little misogyny as a treat. Oh my
White
god.
misogyny. Ugh.
I got my tail. I'm happy.
Idealist, you know you can set a custom icon, right?
On my Steam, yeah, I haven't changed it in like 20
You're a
years.
freak.
Off on the technicality. Technically correct. The best kind of correct.
Yes.
Caw-caw.
There's no malice behind it. It's
Owa!
fully a joke, and you know this. Owa!
Ow.
Are you playing Marvel Rivals? What are you
Yoink.
doing? You're sick. Who hurt you?
You won't die, probably.
Damn it.
we both smashed.
As soon as you said you won't die, we both got ready to kill each other. Holy shit.
Are you in the store right now, Melon?
No,
Yes.
customize.
If I
Kind of.
kill you, what
Don't do it.
happens?
No, please.
Nope.
You're right. It's debut.
Do we know what these other windows are gonna be?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think they've said
Because
anything about
it's
that.
interesting that there's like a customization thing, but I truly don't know what these would even be. Oh, it's probably room stuff.
Oh,
Mm.
probably.
It's probably one of them's like room things, and then one of them's gonna be something else. I don't know. Because we do have our little rooms, and they're just kind of
There. Yeah.
uneditable right now.
Now, they definitely are giving the impression that you will be able to customize your own room.
Yes, I believe they will, which will be very cute.
Yes.
No, this game is very promising.
Oh, we're loading a level, I can tell. The cat's in there!
Wow.
Cat! I'll save you, cat! Oh! Oh, this place. Come here. Be having flashbacks.
I do like this game significantly more than Visceral Cleanup Detail.
Yes.
That one, one breaks Idealist's computer for some reason.
It does.
It is nasty with your computer.
It hates you, specifically you, which was really wild at the time. And it's just like not as there's less whimsy.
Yeah.
This has so much
there's-
whimsy. It's
there's less-
overflowing with whimsy.
There's less to do in it, but there's more busy work to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
It's much more tedious, like a Visceral Cleanup Detail.
Oh,
Not
good night,
ready.
Good
Brady.
night. Good night.
Good
Visceral
night.
Cleanup Detail. It's like 2 hours minimum for a level. Half the time, it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, time to clean this mission is hour 45 minutes, and it's like, oh, okay.
Where's the dragon?
In the air.
Thanks.
God,
No
he's so
problem.
cool. He's so fucking cool, guys.
Probably one of my favorite bits that you have is just like, oh, he's so funny.
He's so fucking funny.
Oh shit. Kira has not responded to me just yet, so I'll message her in a second.
You should probably message them,
Yeah.
like now,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and we'll, clean or whatever.
Yeah. We'll do our stuff. You do your stuff.
Yeah, we won't kill you 3 billion times.
I probably won't kill you.
I probably won't kill you.
Who's to say?
Listen, who can tell the future? Not I.
Idealist is giving off evil vibes.
Always.
As someone who's evil currently, I would know this.
It's true.
There's another fucking crest here. Fuck. Salutes you.
Anyways.
Anyways.
Okay, we're gonna.
Yeah. But I'm glad to see that they got a update out for this so early.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, it's only been out for like what, 2-3 weeks? Less, probably, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that means they are actively working on it, which is cool. Oh,
Ow.
why is the mimic here? Thinks about Melon, who probably died right there.
Yep.
Who turned on the fire thing?
I don't know.
I'm turning them off. It's dangerous.
I hear someone stomping around.
Yum, yum, hum, hum, hum.
Yum yum yum. Oh, I missed my.
Probably shouldn't bring the
I'll
mic
stay
this
for the
way.
other bus. Boop, boo doop, boop, boo doop, boo, boop, boo doop, boop, boo doop, boo.
He's just making noises, huh?
Ah! Don't push me off.
Okay. Literally, there was like, I'm just gonna be a stinker and talk back, and then the other part of my brain is just like, be nice. And I'm like,
Hello?
okay.
Yeah! Yeah. Figure it out. I don't think I was supposed to get over that. Oh.
How?
That really sours it that you can just walk across, huh?
I mean, you do have to jump.
No, we jumped.
No. The frames
that's
dropped.
the ice making that noise. I'm like, who is... I don't even know.
Crouching.
Smacking their lips like a little freak.
Yeah, sorry about that. Imagine.
Dragon.
Dragon.
This is the
Don't
other
say
dragon mission in this game.
Yeah.
I died.
I
Is the other dragon mission in this game where you have to sneak around it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that mission. That was a good one.
That was really good.
That was the
Chair.
other than the fact that they made all the treasure behind like the weird jump puzzles that were like not very clear.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a lot more intuitive now.
That's good. I think I literally, and I don't usually do this, I think I literally wrote feedback
Yeah.
specifically for that level because I was like, hey, this game is really good. That level sucked.
Yeah, like it has so
Dragon.
much potential.
Yeah, I think like the two treasures we could not find because there wasn't a scanner either at the time. I remember that. That was something I wanted
No.
as well. Was some sort of like radar-esque thing for like the last couple things in the game.
Yeah. Well,
which I'm glad they added.
one of the things they did add, you can see in like the top left, instead of making it 100%, it's only 85. So you don't need
Also-
to 100% it.
Yeah, that's also really nice.
Oh no!
Salutes him.
Well, the thing didn't fall, so I accomplished my goal.
There you go.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just remember we were streaming and it took us like an extra 30 minutes just to find the two pieces of treasure because they were in like weird jump puzzle nonsense.
Where's Frank? I want to pick up all this meat. It bothers me. Frank.
Yeah?
Psst, 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 psst. Psst,
Where
psst,
does this go? Does it not? Okay.
Okay, let's
One,
do it.
rude.
First of all,
First of
First of
all,
all.
rude. Second of all, okay. Whatever.
Have we opened the shortcut yet to the other side of
Yes.
the bridge? Okay,
yes, I did.
thank you.
Okay, so you have to restore the plant first and then put it in the thing. I see. I'm learning.
Yeah.
We master at this game in no time.
Okay.
I want to push
where-
Ideals off a cliff, dude.
Oh. You'll be the.
I'm just speaking my mind, dude. I'm giving
Get
you
in
the real
line.
facts. Get in line.
Get in line
Damn,
now!
he's so cool.
All right, let's see here. Okay, so we don't have a.
We do.
I was like, we don't have a. Oh, there's a good one. Scan for Frank. Interestingly enough.
I forgot. I think I left him in one of the icy areas on accident, so he's upstairs somewhere.
Okay, I'll go searching for him. Frank. Frank.
He's not a cat. He's a grown man.
Yeah, it still works on grown men.
Shit, he's actually so right about that. Fuck. The rightest thing Idealist has ever said.
It's true. It doesn't happen often. All right, let's see here. Oh, there he is. Yep, I see him.
Yeah, I think I put him in a really awful spot. I apologize.
No, actually, it was a pretty decent spot. The worst one would be like
Relax.
if he was like mouth open towards like a spot that you're like sliding on ice. You're just
Oh,
like,
that would be funny.
Ooh.
Just slide in and explode.
yep. Whee! Yeah, let's throw that over there.
I think I chucked a shield somewhere this way. I'll find it.
Oh boy.
Dragon!
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Good thing this is up. Surely I won't die. Oh, I didn't die. Interesting. I mean, I should.
Interesting.
I knew it.
That I was gonna say interesting.
That I wasn't gonna die. My prediction was predicted. All right, there we go. And then now, I take this chair that I threw.
Oh,
I
mean,
found
that
the
I,
shield got chucked.
Thank you.
What?
The shield
The shield?
that got chucked.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Was it?
Yeah.
Where is it supposed to go? Is it by the treasure?
By the start.
All right. I did
Ideals
not press.
actually killed me. He actually killed me on purpose. I saw it.
I didn't press any
Rewind
button.
the VOD. Rewind the VOD. He killed me.
Oh, that's where it goes.
Damn, I don't have the input showing, so I can't show that I didn't push anything.
He
Damn.
absolutely killed me.
I think what happened was that I picked it up and turned around, but it still registered as it like being on the ground. So it auto ate you because you got too close because I put it towards you.
Yeah. Oh, I picked up a piece of meat to turn and put it in, and then you turned to eat the piece of meat, and I was between you and the piece of meat, and I died. Which is very funny, but you did absolutely fucking
I did kill you. But it was wild because I was like, I didn't hit assassinate. I just
really
kind of did
funny.
it. I just kind of. I'm a born assassin.
That's an interesting bug.
What?
What?
I guess I can show you guys through Discord.
Oh. Did anyone else get the second one light up?
Do you see it?
Oh.
Isn't that weird?
Dare I?
Yeah,
What?
look. He's sharing on Discord.
Oh, okay. What?
Fucking idiot, we tricked him.
What? What? I just failed a challenge! What the hell?
You failed the challenge!
I literally alt-tabbed to look at Discord.
Failed the challenge!
And it made me lose the challenge because I exploded.
You failed the challenge!
Apparently.
Anyway,
Yeah,
this is
well.
this
Oh, that is
weird
really
bug.
funny. That is really funny.
Okay,
Okay, well, now I don't gotta worry about, I don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
no
it.
stressing.
It was just like floating in my general vision. I'm like, what? Huh? I hope my
Alright.
mop isn't just like broken forever now.
Where did I even
Something
die?
they should add as a almost max level item should be a mimic head. A la Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
When you don't have anything in your hand, you can just eat the meat off the ground.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually really funny.
It'd be like very strong, but it would have to be like end game item. I'll throw them a message about that.
Yes.
And they'll be like, wow, you're so smart and cool. Would you love $1,000? And I'm like, oh, I would love $1,000. Thank you, game dev. You gotta keep your head up, okay? You gotta keep aspiring for greatness.
You gotta keep your dreams alive.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was in here when it killed me. Got it.
Yeah, I think my mop might be broken.
Have you tried
Forever.
trading your mop for a new one?
Can you do that?
Kinda?
Oh, wait, I think I fixed it.
Did I get bugged out?
Why?
What's
What
wrong
happened?
with you?
I can't pick up Frank.
Oh no.
Have you tried swapping Frank out?
No. Oh, I'm bugged. Oh, right. No. Oh.
Salutes him.
I swear if I was going to die a second time because I respawned further along its path, I was going to lose my mind.
That would have been crazy.
Yeah, I can't pick this up.
Idealist?
Huh?
You're super bugged. Because you're floating. Careful. You're floating You're not here,
Uh-huh.
but the mimic is being carried.
Okay.
Are you looking at me right now?
Yeah.
You have the mimic. You're not there.
Oh.
Will it kill you if
You're
I
not
get close
real.
to you? Yeah,
You've
see?
fully broken the mimic. Oh no. It came to pass. The mimic head. It happened. Come on, the mimic.
God, you're so fast.
I spoke it into existence. The devs are.
Oh God, it's so scary.
Do you see it? It's real.
It's so scary.
He's like super bugged.
Ooh.
Well, I don't know if we can complete this mission now that Idealist has fully broken the mimic.
I just
Idealist,
won't touch.
Idealist, where did you get it from? 'Cause it might not be the actual
do you see?
mimic.
Do you see this bench here?
Yes. Yes.
It's right next to it.
Oh yeah, you fully broke it.
Okay, cool.
That's fine. It works out because
You could
Kira
just-
is free, so I can go on to that. But if you guys want to
It's
keep
you.
playing Goblin Cleanup,
Kill him.
by all means, I'm just gonna. Oh wait, I'm the host.
I'm fighting Idealist right now. I'm killing him. I'm kicking him in the head. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah! Can't wait for the dragon to come by again.
Spin kick.
But yeah, no, I'm fine with calling it here.
It's
Yeah,
2, 3, 6, heavy slash, quarter circle, double meter, high block, low block,
Here comes the dragon.
Gatling chain. I didn't die. You
Well, I
lose.
did.
That was
How
my
did
special
I
move.
die and you did? What?
That was my special move.
So you don't die underneath there? That was
All those
just.
inputs were to summon the dragon.
Oh, okay.
You're cooked.
You're cooked. Oh.
I think, honestly, Ideals, I think you saved me by being in front of me when the dragon came by. Because you instantly turned into ice, and I think you counted as an object to block it, which is
That's
very
really funny. That's really funny. All right.
You just froze
Oh my
solid.
God. Well,
All right. Well, thank y'all for joining
Idealist, are
us.
you able to leave the level so we can at least get some tickets? Or, oops, something's on my map.
Leave the level. Oh, yeah.
some-
Let's
Some experience.
let's do that.
Oh, I don't.
Now we'll have to abandon
I
you
don't care.
there again.
There you go.
This is fun, though.
Okay.
This is a good game.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it continue to get updated.
Mm-hmm,
Right?
Yeah, which is exactly how I felt playing the demo. So that's a good thing that it's
Yeah.
still
No, like
that
it
way.
continues to be really good and promising. And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm not even mad about the glitches. They just happen. We expect as
Yeah,
much.
it's fine. It's literally an early access indie game. I don't care.
Yeah. All right.
The levels are like only
Did you
so long anyway.
are you with
so-
us, Ideal?
No, I'm not. I
Okay.
left.
You can't leave?
No, I left.
Oh.
Oh, you
I'm
left the
gone.
game. Okay. I thought you were still invisible.
No,
That's what I thought too.
no, I'm
I
gone.
thought you were
Did
just
it-
like with his Idealist in the room with us, and then like a book raises off of a desk or something.
There's just a floating Frank head in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere.
That's so funny that I was talking about that and you got possessed.
And then
I want to see it
Like,
from y'all's point of
stupid
view.
Mimic. It was crazy.
is really funny.
That's so funny. But that'd be a really cool cosmetic to have like an effective cosmetic. Would be neat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
yeah, that was fun. Thanks for the
Yeah.
invite.
Of course.
Thank you for playing Goblin Cleanup.
No.
I'll
Next
see
time
you
I'm
next-
on your stream, I won't be evil probably, but who knows?
Who knows? It's fine. After I play some Ginch with Kira for a bit,
Mhm.
I'll
Can you never
probably
call
be-
it that again?
Okay.
I'm still evil.
Immediately caves.
I'll message the Discord and see if we're feeling any other collabs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me know.
I'm
that
like
should be up.
PvP Discord evil right now. I don't know what's up.
Mm, hell yeah.
Discord
Hell
is
yeah.
a PvP zone.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you.
Yeah,
Alright,
have fun.
see
At least
ya.
I'll be in chat or whatever. Bye-bye.
See
Oh,
y'all.
yeah.
Bye. All right, guys. Thank y'all for stopping by. Wonderful having you, as always. Thanks for stopping by again, if I saw you earlier today. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Maybe later today. Again, we'll see. Yeah. Thank you all. Hope you have a good night, good day, and I'll see y'all next time. All right, see ya. Bye-bye.